Yo, from Kenya, East Africa, Marwa speaking truth. You feel me? Time to clear the air, set things straight.
Hi guys, I hope that you're all doing great. Now, Hurricane Melissa came with fury, and I was so happy to see people coming out to say, let's pray for Jamaica, It is very important, guys. Prayers work. Prayers are good. And when people come in unison, and pray, it really, really makes a difference. I have just checked, guys, before I started doing this video, I have checked to see, what happened, any developments about this hurricane. And I have seen that it actually passed through Jamaica and it is headed to Cuba. I've also seen that it caused some havoc, it left some devastation behind. However, I believe, I truly believe within myself that had it not been for people praying, all over the world, I am sure that it would have been worse, And so I really, I'm not sure, because I have seen, quite some devastation, but, the people on the ground are the ones who are, can actually tell us as it is. So if you're my, Jamaican brother, sister, you can let me know, what happened, how it went. And I believe that you all are safe. I believe that you are not badly affected. I really pray so. And let us continue praying as it goes to Cuba and wherever else, guys. Nobody on this earth, deserves any kind of havoc, because Mother Nature, when it comes with such fury, it can actually cause, like I said, it can cause a lot of destruction, even loss of lives. So let me know, out there, let me know if all is well. I'll really be happy. Let me know in the comment section. Because I personally, have been praying about this, because it is important. Prayer is very, very important. Actually, let us normalize, praying for the whole world, praying for peace, just praying for happiness, so that, joy is important, guys. And like I said, prayer is very, very important as well. Guys, I also want to, plead, just urge you guys to pray for 𝐔𝐿 podcast, because she has a sister who actually is unwell. And guys, in this world, I've realized, that we have limited control, over issues. We sometimes feel like we are in control of everything, we are in charge, we can do things this way, that way, we can move mountains. But the real thing is, guys, we are not. We only have limited ability. So this is a sister, of hers who went into the doctor's office for treatment. Somebody who went there, okay. Of course, they were sick. That is why they were going to see the doctor. However, they were okay. They were talking. And just to be given a dose of painkillers, guys, it caused a severe reaction on her, and she became unresponsive. And since Thursday, she has been in a coma. Guys, once again, we have no control 100% of our lives. That is why I began by saying that prayer is very important and prayer works. And there's an almighty, being that controls this whole universe, this whole place. And that is why, guys, when I see people coming out here, to chest thump, laugh at people, like the reaction I'm going to do right now about AM Carrots coming out to laugh at Rosio when Rosio is, mourning Rio. I don't know what has come of this world. I don't know how some people are. I don't know what kind of heart some people have. But one thing I know is that we do not have full control over even our lives, even how you breathe, like right now where you're sitting. How many times do you breathe? Your heart is beating. Are you the one who's controlling it to beat? Are you the one who's controlling your blood to move through your body? We have no control, guys, on a serious note. So when something happens to anyone, no matter how much you hate this person, no matter how much you want to react on this person and make them look bad, sometimes it is good to just sit back and think that you are also human. And you can be careful, Rosio is careless. You can be very careful, 100%. But let me tell you, still, SHIT can happen to you. So guys, let us go back to the Real Things podcast. Who is one of us? She is a positive reactor. A sister from Jamaica. And she, guys, I must say this is one of the sweetest people, kindest people, I've ever met, She is just a sweet soul, She is one person who, she is different, And I hate to see her, pass through so much pain. So guys, please remember her in prayer. Remember her sister in prayer. Let us be there for her during this time, So before we go to carrots, let us first look at 𝐷𝐿. Guys, 𝐷𝐿 has come out, together with his audience. They have come out, to talk about Marwa. He did not care about Rio. He was mistreating Rio. They did not bother with him. They just brought trainers. They did not take Rio to hospital and all these kinds of stuff. And then 𝐷𝐿 forgets and plays a clip where Marwa himself is saying, there is a problem with Rio. I do not understand what is going on, but something is going on with him. This shows concern. If Marwa was not concerned, we would have never heard him even once, speak about Rio in that manner. But he was actually getting concerned and he was worried, even the tone of his voice, even his face. Like, I do not understand. I even have trainers and they're not telling me what is wrong. They're not giving me reasons. So 𝐷𝐿 coming out to play this clip, and then continuing on and on and on to talk about how Marwa did not care about this horse. Guys, it doesn't make sense. Listen to 𝐷𝐿, guys.
Trainers and they are not giving me reasons to why. But hey, my friend, trainers and I want to put those here. Come. All right, guys, I think my video will end here. I want to say thank you. Thank you so much. I want to put this video together.
Listen.
My horse is not feeling well. I don't know what's going on with it. And have trainers and they are not giving me reasons.
So Marwa is saying, my horse is not feeling well. I have trainers and they don't tell me why. So there is a horse trainer, there's a veterinary. You keep changing veterinaries, you keep changing horse trainers and all that. And the condition that these things are living is pathetic.
And guys, I heard 𝐷𝐿 talking about the other horse. Remember the horse that died? The one that had a Spanish name. So 𝐷𝐿 has come out to say that this horse, when it died, Marwa and Rosio were so embarrassed. They never told people about it. So I'm thinking, is it still a secret that there's a horse that actually died? Is it a secret? Because I remember Rosio coming out to talk about it. So I don't know what this guy is talking about. That's what I'm saying, guys. These people are just liars. 𝐷𝐿 poured lies. You know, he is trying to make it seem as though these people are too embarrassed to come and say, guys, death is not something you can hide. It's like pregnancy. You know, you cannot hide it. In fact, pregnancy you can hide for a while, you know, but death you cannot. You know. So I wonder why somebody would come up with this stupid lie. It doesn't make sense to me, guys. You know, saying that, oh, Rosio did not care about this horse. All she cared about is to ride the horse, take Instagram photos and stuff like that. I have friends, you all, some of you, who send me photos, you know, with your pets, with your, you know, cats, dogs, whatever. Guys, so you people do not love your pets, right? You guys don't love them. You don't love your animals. You know, all you do is to take pictures and send them to people. What sense is that? You know, people take photos of themselves, you know, and put them on Instagram. You know, they care about themselves. They love themselves. People take photos of their kids and put them on Facebook, Instagram, wherever, you know. And that does not mean they have the kids so that they can show off with the kids. They don't care about the kids. What nonsense is that? Give us facts, 𝐷𝐿. Stop just talking for the sake of talking. You know, just because you can move your mouth and, you know, sound comes out of your mouth. I mean, come on, make some sense. Oh, my God.
Oh, inakuwa wazi.
The boy is telling Marwa, looks like this thing is getting worse. These your horses are getting, they're even worse. Maybe they can wake up tomorrow and they're gone. Does he even care? How can you say cheap labor when he's paying them, the trainer, more than 500 USD? Are you trying to believe those nonsense? Are you trying to believe what Maru is selling to his bro? Do you really think that Maru is paying someone $500, a horse trainer, a boy like this, so he's actually getting $500? No.
Clearly, we have seen Marwa there asking about the horse, asking about Rio. Hello, my friend. Marwa stopped this guy because he was concerned, you know, once again, because he cares about this horse. And he's asking, why is it that this horse, you know, this foot is becoming, you know, worse and worse by the day? Why is it that it's becoming more and more difficult for it to walk? You know? And so 𝐷𝐿, you know, playing this kind of clip and saying that Marwa does not care about this horse, you know, never cared about this horse. I mean, you can imagine how he's coming out looking, you know, just foolish. And guys, he is talking about this guy does not have experience. And then he admits that this guy actually has gone to school, you know, for this kind of work, you know, meaning that this guy has the knowledge. He has, you know, he has the knowledge about these types of things, which means he is actually qualified, basically, you know, because had this person not been to school for this, you know, just a random person who learned this skill in the village somewhere or from somebody, his father or his uncle or something, maybe we can say that, you know, I would also agree. But coming out here to say that, oh, this person, you know, there's a difference between going to school for something and experience. Guys, I do not dispute that. That is actually true. You know, you could have actually gone to school for something and you still have not gained experience. You know, experience is always the best teacher. I know that. However, this particular person knows what he is doing because he has learned about this in school. He is qualified. When you go looking for jobs, if every employer said, you know, they need experience first, then what will happen to the people who are graduating from college, you know, from universities? What will happen to them? You know, even the person with 50 years experience had 1 hour of experience, you know, at some point in his life. So this experience was adding up to get to 50 years of experience. So this particular guy, what he was doing, he was still now, you know, still working, gaining experience as he works. But Bottom line is, he was qualified. Guys, I am going according to what 𝐷𝐿 is saying. You know, he cannot admit, you know, that this person actually went to school for this, graduated, you know, in veterinary, and come out here and say this person had to have experience. Because guys, I know these particular people, this lazy gang, they like speaking on both sides of their mouth. And if this happens, they normally say it should have been like this. If this happens, it should have been like the other. You know, guys, let us continue listening to this guy.
So right now the horse is this is the second horse is dead. The first one, they covered the news. They didn't want the news come out because I don't know, it was shameful. How could you explain to subscribers that a horse just died, or it was like that, and they covered the news? So today it comes here, and now Rosio is preparing to come and tell us how she was so much in love with the Rio, those kind of things, but she never was. No, she never was. All you care is, take an Instagram photo, you know, record me riding on the horse, recording me. What is that Rosio's? This is all Rosio wanted. You know, record the videos like this, post on Instagram, riding on the horse. But what about taking care of these horses though? No. Look at the sunset, you're riding on the Rio, on the what? And it's gone. It's gone. So let me remove this. So I was like, I have some horse trainers here.
So wow. But hey, my friend, what is happening with Rio? I'm seeing Rio is becoming more unable to walk.
This young man, I don't think, in my own understanding, that this young man here has any knowledge, seriously speaking. Okay, there's something about going to school to learn about something, and there is something about experience. So this young man could have gone to school to do veterinary or those kind of things, training horses and all, but I'm not sure that he's experienced enough to even know when the horse is not okay and all those kind of things, how to diagnose using eyes.
So how much money is he being paid, 𝐷𝐿? Why are you leaving the statement halfway? Why are you leaving us hanging? You're telling us that this trainer, there's no way he can be paid $500. You should have continued, finished the statement, you know, finish the sentence by telling us he is paid this amount of money because you seem to know so much. Guys, you know, these are the people who know everything and anything about Marwa and family. You know, now he even knows how much money Marwa pays his workers. What a shame. You know, because Marwa said he pays the trainer $500. Marwa is not right. You know, Marwa is lying. So 𝐷𝐿 is the one telling the truth. Shameless person. Shameless 𝐷𝐿. Oh, Rosio is just pretending, you know, going by the riverside, talking about how she cared about Rio. She thinks we're stupid. Rosio is just an actress. Guys, I'm just wondering, how should Rosio have mourned? You know, and like I said before, 𝐷𝐿, you are telling us things half-half. You should come out here and tell us exactly how she should have mourned. Guys, you cannot come out here and tell me, MORAA, you're pretending, you know, to be mourning. MORAA, you're pretending to be happy. MORAA, you're pretending to be doing this. Okay, fine. Then how is it done? You know, by the real people, as in, if it's real, how is it done? You know? Or rather, let me put it this way, in reality, how is it done? Guys, to me, all these stories don't make sense. You know, this is a horse. They should just let these people be. Let these people mourn their horse. Guys, how they cared about their horses, how they did not care about the horses. I never had these people coming out here to give us an elaborate plan of how Marwa and Rosio should care about the horses. Even right now, they have not. You know, all of them, guys, you will hear them saying, oh, these horses are not being taken care of. And especially now that Rio is not there. Now that Rio has met his demise, now all of a sudden, all of them, no more than the veterinary, people. They are the ones who know that these horses were not being taken care of. Okay, fine. Guys, let them tell us how these horses should have been taken care of. They have no idea, guys. All this is just content. They have no idea of how horses are taken care of.
Now, look at this madness here. All right, look at this madness here. This Rosio, I don't know if this Rosio really thinks that we are all dumb like she thinks. So all Rosio could do is just grab a camera, come here to the river, start acting. Rush to the river and start acting. Oh, now what are you trying to do, Rosio, here in the river? Paying a tribute. Come to mourn Rio.
But he was so sweet.
Rosio, come on. Don't be an actress. I mean, not for this one. Because Rosio, even Marwa was complaining that you sleep a lot, you don't wake up to go and help the trainer to train the horses. But now you could wake up very early in the morning, come here in the river and start now. Yeah, Rio, you were sweet. You were sweet. Now you've gone. Rosio is crazy. Rosio is really crazy,
And when they say that Rosio was not, sad about this whole thing, what do they mean? Because, guys, to me, Rosio, looking at her eyes, Rosio looked so very sad. She looked like something, had just happened, something that, had shocked her. Like she was still in shock, she was still trying to process. Like she was just trying to get it out, let it out. Because she does not want to keep it inside because it will finish her. So she wants to just let it out. And she needed people to talk to. Like she truly, truly needed, to speak. I don't care if she mounted her camera there. Oh, why is she putting her camera right there? And then she starts to cry. She probably did not know that she was going to cry. Guys, if I put up my camera, right here, and I start talking about some things, I will definitely cry. And some things I may not know that I will cry, but in the middle of them, maybe I start, feeling like I want to cry. So what, guys? So now I put my camera here so that I can cry. It doesn't make sense to me. It is just BS, guys. They should let Marwa and Rosio, mourn their horse the best way they know how. People do this differently. People take pain differently. People take hurt differently. People process things differently. So it beats my understanding, guys, when all these people, some of the ones I had, the people I actually watched are 𝐷𝐿 and Qarol. And some people I saw titles, so I'm not sure what they said in their videos. So let me not go to people that I did not watch their videos. As for 𝐷𝐿 and Qarol, why are they saying that Rosio was pretending that she was not sad? So according to them, did Rosio look happy? Guys, honestly, to me, these people, they don't make sense. And guys, according to me, this has nothing to do with whether she was taking care of the horse or not. Whether she loved the horse or not. Because guys, I do not know to what extent she took care of or did not take care of that horse. I was not there. I cannot come and state categorically that Rosio did not take care of that horse. Guys, Rosio explained what had happened, And she said how they brought in the vet, how they tried to treat Rio. She spoke about it. So, however anybody, interprets what Rosio said, That is up to them. You know, according to what Rosio said, if somebody feels that they did not take care of the horse enough, that is their opinion. If somebody feels like they did not love Rio enough, that is their problem. However, to me, Rosio at the end of the day was shaken. She was shocked and she was, you know, she was hurt. She was in pain, you know. And this tells me that she truly loved this Rio and she cared for this horse. Guys, Rosio is the one who had asked for horses from the onset. Clearly, Rosio has love for horses. And I'm pretty sure that she loves, you know, all these horses that are at her compound. And for me, I just say, Rosio, you know, Marwa, take heart, you know, an animal, you know, a pet can become like a member of the family. And I know that you guys are, you know, it's hurting to actually lose, you know, an animal that is so close to you guys. You know, when you wake up in the morning and you're walking around your compound, you know, guys, you can see how Marwa always used to go and touch Rio and say, Rio, Papa, Rio. Guys, Rosio as well, you know, always, you know, stroking the horse, just, you know. And then somebody comes out here to say that they did not care about these horses. They actually called a vet in. They have trainers for these horses. That tells you that at least, guys, they cared. And they still care for the rest of the horses that are there. And they love them as well. And guys, I was shocked. I was actually amused when I saw some of 𝐷𝐿's subscribers come up with crazy theories. Guys, birds of a feather flock together. People who think like 𝐷𝐿. Oh my God. And they call Marwa's people mentally challenged. These ones are mentally challenged squared. Guys, somebody came out to say, I will not believe until I see the dead horse. You know, I will not believe that it's dead because I know for sure that they are saying this so that they can, you know, activate donations, blah, blah, blah. Guys, even if Marwa and Rosio are desperate. I mean, have they gotten to that point? Have they gotten to that point of desperation? To fake, you know, death of a horse. They have to see it with their own, you know, bare eyes so they can believe. Nonsense. You believe it or not. You know, who cares? Shameless people. Confused elements. No wonder you're watching 𝐷𝐿. Can you imagine, guys? Somebody with their own brains. Actually, somebody without brains, for sure. Coming out here to say they have to see the horse so that they can believe. So that what can happen? Okay, now you will not see the horse. Believe it or not. Let's see if it changes anything. These are dumbasses, guys. For real. So, guys, I saw Qarol's video and I was like, what? Guys, this woman came out so, you know, insensitive. She came out so rude, rough, attacking Rosio left, right, and center, just saying all the worst things that you can ever tell somebody who is mourning. Guys, like I said, it does not matter whether you hate somebody. It does not matter whether you want to make content. It does not matter whether you want to put somebody down. Sometimes just be a bit sensitive. You know, Rosio has just lost one of her animals that she so dearly loved. And somebody coming out to bash her like this, guys, it does not matter, guys. For me, it does not matter if I told you, you know, do not cross that road. And then you went and crossed it, and now you broke your leg. I will not come here and start laughing and saying, oh, you know, there are things. Okay, maybe breaking your leg, I can laugh. But I'm just saying, like, if you lost your life, I will not come here and start saying, hey, it's good that they lost their life. I told them so. Why didn't they listen to me? This, that, and I cannot do that, guys. This is serious. This is loss of life. You know, you cannot come out here and start laughing about it and saying, oh, these people, they don't listen. Even, oh, they were told this, they were told that. How does she know that these people didn't listen to all the advice that they were given? How does she know that even these people that they are bringing, the vets and all these other people who are helping them, how does she know that they are actually following the advice that they are being given? Oh, they should have taken their horses to I don't know where. They should have treated their horses like this and like that. Like I said, guys, these people do not even know. Just like MORAA, they're like me, guys. They do not know, what horses require. They have no idea. And I'm pretty sure she has not done any research. She is just coming out here to bash Rosio. Guys, she knows nothing about horses. It is crazy. People should be a bit humane. Laughing at Rosio's face. Thank God Rosio does not even watch this kind of people. I'm pretty sure she does not. Because this kind of person is just pathetic. Guys, somebody cannot come out here to insult somebody, mock somebody while they are grieving. I find that to be very distasteful, guys. And like I said, it may be not horses in her house, but even her, she can be attracting something very bad to happen to her. Guys, I've always said it will never end well with this woman. Yes, I repeat it again. It will never end well. Never. Not with this kind of attitude. Not with this kind of mockery of people. Like she thinks she is something special. Like she's out of this world. She is not, flesh and blood. Oh my goodness.
These guys, they received a lot of money. They left the horses when they're sick. They went for the vacation. Did they care about the horses? They never cared. Now I can hear people in the comment section blaming. Oh, we blame the people that you welcome in the home before the horses. If I'm not wrong, correct me. The people who always come in that villa, they started coming in even before the horses came in. People have been always in that villa. Oh, right now we are blaming the carer. Hey. We haven't even known if that care is a certified. Show us all the certificates all the time. Even when baby Maisha came, I saw MORAA moving with certificates. Yeah? Guys, you see this? Let me show you. This is the ID. This is the ID for the baby. Let me close like this. You don't see. This is, you see, this one is the ID for the
Carrots, stop your drama, stop your shenanigans. People have to go on holiday. And guys, Rosio and Marwa, particularly Marwa, started talking about this horse, being sick, when they came back from vacation. That is when he was really on this issue of this horse being sick. So this woman, I don't know what she's talking about. She is just trying to be dramatic. People go on holidays, guys. And sometimes you may leave everything in your house is very okay. And still something happens. So does it mean people will never go on holiday on this earth? Because guys, like I said, you can actually leave everything is in order in your house. And you walk out and then you get a phone call. Something has happened. You did not leave anybody sick. You did not leave anything, in the wrong place. But sometimes SHIT happens. Life happens. And that is why, guys, I find this woman to be very, very insensitive, especially in this case, of this horse. She came out to say that, oh, now I know people in that chat of Marwa, I know they're talking about me. They're blaming me. They're saying the Bungoma witch is the one who did it. And actually, I can as well say that. Yes, you Bungoma witch, tell us. Why are you mentioning yourself beforehand? Nobody has mentioned you yet. And now you are coming to start already, defending yourself. that they will say it is me and it is not me. Why? Why are you like talking ahead of us? Unless you know what you have done. Guys, this woman coming out to say that Rosio and Marwa, took people's money, went on vacation, did not care about the horse. She is so insensitive, laughing about the whole issue, telling Rosio, you are the one who is, I don't know, you don't know what you're doing. You are so negligent. You did this and that. Guys, like I said, in this planet, you can have everything correct. You can think that you have done everything right. You can take care of your animal the best way you know how, but still something happens. Of course, it is good to take care of your animals. It is good to take care of yourself. So if something happens, at least you know you did your best. And for me, I feel like that is where Rosio and Marwa are. Guys, she is saying that people are blaming this trainer. People should not be blaming this trainer. Guys, for real, even me, I was thinking the trainer. I am not saying that he should be blamed 100%. But guys, I feel like this trainer has, some questions to answer. Because like when, this guy was passing, Marwa called him and said, excuse me, how is it that, Rio's case is becoming worse and worse? The way he asked this guy, I felt like this guy did not come out to Marwa and explain everything to him before this time. It is Marwa who had to go, like maybe while he's walking around his compound to check on his animals, to just see how things are going. He is the one who noticed that this horse is getting worse and worse. And so he decided to ask this guy. That's how I looked at it. That's how I took it. Because otherwise, Marwa would have known, from this explanation. Marwa would have said, the trainer told me this, that, and the other. But for Marwa to stop him and ask him questions like this, like, really, why is this happening? It seems that Marwa found out. He may have known, of course, that the horse is sick, but he found out that this thing is getting worse by himself. If this trainer would have come out and said, hey, boss, this thing, I see it's really, becoming worse and worse. Because, guys, remember, this trainer is the one who spends most time with his horses. So he is the one who should have come and told Marwa, no, I feel like at this point, maybe we need to do a scan, or we need to do an urgent, X-ray, or we need to, just get him to a more specialized person or something. I just feel like there's a lot of responsibility that this trainer bears at this particular point. It is like leaving your, child with a nanny, and your child is getting, of course, you will find out that your child has problems here and there, but this person, since they are the ones who spend most of the time with your child, maybe when you're going to work or something, they are the ones who are supposed to tell you, today, she actually vomited. Today, I saw that her temperature was a bit high. Because maybe when you're coming home, the child is not vomiting, so you wouldn't know. You understand? So I think, for me, I feel like people are not wrong, to say that this trainer has some responsibility to bear.
Rosio, look at her face.
Bring in a better
Pretender. See, look at her face.
veterinary from Nairobi or doing
Oh my God.
A, B, C, D.
Fake.
Because it's
Fake.
in moments like this when you want someone that you can just call and tell him, come quickly, I need you. It's very hard.
Why?
It's
Why?
very hard. So
Why?
that has always been like my worry when it comes to being in this area with the horses, but it doesn't make it impossible anyway. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how to feel.
Now, that is Rosio mourning Rio. And is he telling Rosio to keep quiet? Stop being wicked.
I don't see anything funny there, you know. If you don't like Rosio or if you like Rosio, this is not the time, guys. That's according to me. You know, you may hate Rosio as much as you hate her, or you may dislike her, or you may even just want to be doing content, you know, with her. But this is not the time to mock her. This is not the time to be laughing about this. This is not a laughing matter. That's according to me, guys. You know, they'll be coming out here. You know, you will hear her come out to say, I do not hate anybody. I do not, you know, there's nothing personal here. I'm just giving my opinion. Yes, you're giving your opinion, but guys, I mean, if you are humans, somebody should be at least sensitive. You know, there are topics you should be sensitive about. You know, these are the people who come out here to pretend, guys. You know, when it's somebody whom they like see that this particular person, you know, they are on their side. If something happens to them, they'll come out here and start shedding crocodile tears. Guys, if you feel empathy for somebody, you will be feeling empathy for everyone. You know, it may be somebody you really don't see eye to eye, but when something happens to them, you know, you'll feel something and you just be like, you know what? Let me not go that way, even if it's this particular person, you know, because you have that something in your heart that tells you stop, you know, this is not the time. No, not at this particular moment, not when they're grieving, not when they're this sad, you know. But somebody like Qarol doesn't seem to have that within her. She has no conscience. Guys. And like I said, she should realize she lives in this same planet. You know? She thinks she is a superhuman, you know, or something. No, she is not. And me, I'll just say this openly. You know, I'm without being afraid. You know, she will not end up well. You know, because of this kind of heart that she has. That is the truth. That's my opinion. Oh, yes. So if you have not liked this video up to this moment, please give this video a massive thumbs up. Let me know what you think about this video. Let me know what you think about 𝐷𝐿. Let me know what you think about carrots. Let me know, guys, your feelings, your thoughts, sentiments. You know, just feel free to express yourself down in the comment section below. And also, if you have not subscribed, please take this moment to hit the subscribe and let us meet in the next video. Bye-bye.
I educate, put things straight, that's my fate. Truth teller, reality checker. Truth teller, I'm your protector from the lies and the fake narrative. Truth is what I got to give. Speak the truth, speak the truth. Speak it to set you free. Speak the truth, speak the truth. It's MORAA, your African daughter. Don't pay